The information provided on this podcast is for general information purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your qualified health provider with any questions you may have. Never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of something you have heard on this podcast. Reliance on any information provided here is solely at your own risk.
Welcome. This is Birth, baby. Your hosts are Sierra Morgan and Samantha Kelly. Sierra is a birth doula, hypnobirthing educator, and pediatric sleep consultant.
Samantha is a birth doula, childbirth educator, and lactation counselor. Join us as we guide you through your options for your pregnancy, birth, and postpartum journey.
Today we're talking about prenatal and postpartum fitness with Kati Junkins-Stark, owner of MoveWithMeMama. She is a happily married mother of two amazing girls and pregnant with baby number 3 due this Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for being with us today, Kati.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
Thanks so much for coming on. Excited to chat with you. So tell us, how long have you been working in the field of fitness and what got you into the perinatal realm?
I graduated in 2016 from Occupational Therapy School, and I went into skilled nursing, and I just knew that that wasn't the passion for me. And in 2019, when I had my first daughter, I attended a BIRTHFIT series hosted by Morgan Eyring. I realized how special the program that Lindsay Matthews, now Lindsay Cantu, created, and how amazing it was to be a part of a community of other like-minded women wanting to move their bodies and just being able to practice getting out of the house for the first time with a new child and seeing other people. Because at that time, at 6 weeks, you're kind of sitting at home breastfeeding all the time, and it's like your first time getting out and moving about, maybe besides some walks here and there. So it felt so good to move. I remember being 5.5 weeks and having to come to a later class, and I was just so excited to just get up and move again. And after that, I kind of had debated. I was like, maybe I should do this because I felt so wonderful after, and I could tell all the moms were so happy. And I wanted to, where in skilled nursing, I was helping people, but I realized as my life had changed as a mom, I wanted to be able to help other moms and provide that for other moms. So I believe it was 2022, I finished my, in 2022, I finished my BIRTHFIT coaching seminar. And then in April of that year, I had my very first client with MoveWithMeMama, and I had a private client and started with some privates just to kind of ease into it. And then I started doing the MoveWithMeMama series, which were 4 or 5 weeks, 2 times a week. And I remember feeling so empowered after having my first client and just feeling like I left work feeling so motivated and empowered, and wanted to keep going with that. And so now I'm coaching and hosting series at CrossFit 2024 downtown, postpartum and prenatal.
That's awesome.
So, and is MoveWithMeMama your company? Like you created it, or is it kind of like what's the name of that? What's the word that I'm looking for? Franchise.
It's something I created. I've took a bunch of different courses and kind of put together and through all my pregnancies and postpartum journeys of healing and doing the wrong thing the first time around, and putting something together that I thought was the best for my mamas.
I like that. You kind of took everything that you liked and threw away the rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like that with my childbirth ed class.
Love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like with childbirth ed, I'm like, I know that this isn't what they taught in hypnobirthing completely, but I'm adding it because I think it's really important. So you just mentioned that you kind of realized that you were making some mistakes or some things were wrong. So what would you say is important to know when someone's pregnant or postpartum and wanting to exercise? And is there something they should be explicitly staying away from?
Well, I would say the first time I felt good around 4.5 weeks. And I thought, oh, I could go run sprints. And that is not the case. So
No, ma'am.
no, ma'am. Nothing actually, I felt heaviness afterwards, and luckily nothing had happened. But I knew in that moment, I was like, they told me to rest and I'm not listening. And so it's hard for me to sit down. I just like to be moving and active. And so that was a mistake I had made. So no sprinting.
Oh, so you don't sprint
four and a
at
half
Move
weeks
With Me Mama.
postpartum. But I think that like you'll get a different answer everywhere, no matter where you read. I stay away personally from any sort of crunches postpartum or pregnant. I also just do that in my regular workouts as well. I feel like there's so many other wonderful exercises you can be doing to work on your core without having to do them. And I just don't find them necessary. I would say there's a couple things I definitely stay away from during pregnancy, other than crunches. I don't do pull-ups, but I modify and do like a pull to bar or TRX pulls. I do all my push-ups elevated off a box or a wall. And during pregnancy, I feel like you're the best judge of your own body. So running when it starts to feel running till it starts to feel uncomfortable to you, if your body starts hurting or it starts not to serve you anymore. And this pregnancy I've been in, I wasn't able to run at all the first trimester. And then one day I just tried to run and I was like, it feels amazing. This feels great.
I'm 5 years postpartum and running still doesn't feel good to me.
Yeah. And I think
I was gonna
But it never
say,
did.
I don't think that running feels good for me ever. So
I also don't like crunches.
that's gonna be a no.
So
well, perfect. I have all the
I also
exercises
like
for
elevated
you.
push-ups.
Great.
I actually just don't enjoy like that much exercise. So maybe I just shouldn't do it for me and my
I
health.
make her go to hot work. I made her go to hot works with me once, and now she does it with me. Well, from afar. We both do it, and we hold each other accountable.
I love
So
that.
I heard you say that you really liked when you did those BirthFit classes when you were postpartum, you really liked that you could bring your baby with you. So I'm guessing that's something that you've incorporated into yours as well. Is this something where people are bringing their babies postpartum and kind of exercising with their babies?
So they don't actually exercise with their babies unless they want to. I actually have a babysitter come to class, and that could be anyone from an actual babysitter to a lactation consultant to a doula to a pediatric physical therapist, an occupational therapist, a pediatric occupational therapist. And it's kind of nice because then moms get to meet other birth workers in the community, and then they have them in mind for future babies, or if they have questions about anything, those people are very well educated and they can ask after class, which is really nice. We also
I
have
really
like a
love that you do
massage.
that. Because Katie has asked me to come and be a baby holder and
Yes.
talk to people, which is so nice. I'm really excited to do that. And it's such a nice way for us to get involved as birth workers in the community too. I love that you ask us to do that because, for example, for me, I just mostly do birth work. So I'm super excited to get to hold some babies because I don't get to do
Yeah.
that much.
I know it feels good. It feels good.
Yeah, it's like such a little endorphin boost.
It's nice because then the moms don't have to hire anyone. They get to bring their baby, feel comfortable. And I also think just getting out of the house, and like I said earlier, I remember like packing all my stuff. I'm like, what do I pack when I leave the house? What kind of bag do I bring? What do I bring? Any tools? What do I bring? So it kind of just gets you practicing that as well. So not only are you getting to come work out, but you're practicing how to pack your bag when you're leaving, and
Yeah.
then the babies are hanging out with other babies. Moms are hanging out
And
with
I
other
accidentally
moms.
cut you off earlier. You said something about massage. What were you going to say about
Oh,
massage?
yes. So I have Michelle from Empowered Beginnings has been coming at the end of some of the classes and giving massages to the moms at the end of class, which is probably their favorite part.
She's amazing. That's so cool. It's just so nice as, as new moms to be able, like you said, to get out of the house and to do these things, but also just to feel like a human and like somebody cares about you and you can
Yeah.
take care of your body. And that's just so important to kind of reconnect with yourself, I think. And also
Yeah.
like kind of just take some ownership back over yourself, when I think for a lot of times when you're postpartum, it sometimes feels like you belong to your baby or you belong to this postpartum experience. So being able to have that ownership again is just huge.
Yeah. And I think it's nice too, because so many of the moms are in the same healing process. And so to be able to relate and talk to other women who are going through all the same things is fun. And, we laugh, there's tears sometimes, and it's all welcome, because
It's almost like
just
a support group.
Yeah,
It's almost
it
like
is.
therapy and exercise. I always tell people, do something that makes you feel human again,
Yeah,
because
I
you do
love that.
start to feel like just a servant.
Yeah,
And I want to make sure that people are, in whatever realm that means for them, that they're starting to feel like, their identity is not lost and they're doing something for themselves. And that's so important for mental
yeah,
health, for everything.
yeah.
So obviously, I do not enjoy exercise, but I do it anyways. So why do you think it's important for people to have an exercise routine during pregnancy and postpartum?
I think for me personally, and probably across the board, I think mental health is probably the number one reason. Um, I feel like throughout my life, it's always kind of been the reason why I love it so much, is because it's like after I've finished and accomplished my workout, I feel so incredible afterwards. I think it's good too, especially with the classes, you're building community. Also, even if you're just walking with your baby or doing your daily walk, you're out getting some sunshine, which is wonderful for you. And you're kind of preparing, the classes help you prepare for birth and then also heal the body postpartum, which I think is really important. And I
My
also think
favorite,
that
oh, sorry, go ahead.
oh, sorry, you're fine. I think I think something that it's good to see also that at that young, they aren't noticing, but as time goes on, like watching your kids watch you move and watch you be active can kind of set them up for healthy habits and success for them later on in life. So I think that that's important.
Oh,
And
I
there's
love
also, you
that.
sleep better, reduces like back pain. And if you're doing it correctly and being guided correctly, it's going to reduce back pain and swelling and increase like your muscle tone, strength, your endurance, and your mood, and many other things. So that's really nice.
When we did that event together about a year ago, we had a little event at a South Austin chiropractor's office. And Katie was nice enough to do a little exercise routine for the families that came. And it was so neat her daughters were there too. And it was so neat to watch her daughters watch her exercise and have them trying to do it. And they saw little dumbbells sitting somewhere and they're trying to pick them up and do the exercises. And modeling that behavior is so important. And one of my favorite things is that about the first 5 reasons you gave for why people should have a prenatal and postpartum exercise routine had nothing to do with physical strength. It had to
Yeah.
do with how important it is for the mind, how important it is for community, you're getting community, all of those things. And yes, it is really helpful that it helps with, preparing your body for birth. And in our birth classes, we do talk about exercise for toning the body so that you can have more endurance in labor. But I just love that wasn't even top of mind for you when you're
No,
explaining the why.
I feel like there's too much focus on that, and that's not what I want my class to ever be
Yes.
about. I think I feel like that's everyone's like postpartum body, and get my body back. And it's like, hey, let me get myself back, feel like you're saying, I feel like myself again. And that's what I want. And also just, we're exhausted after we've had a baby. And if there's like that moment where you get to go laugh with other moms or relate to someone else and move your body, and I think it's really, really important.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely huge. I know for me on the days that I go do my workouts, I'm a lot more productive when I actually do work out, even if I just complain the whole time and text Sierra afterward that I really hate her. But
Accurate.
I do.
Accurate.
Both
My
of
friends
us.
hate me
It
too.
goes
My
both
friends
ways.
hate me too. I convinced
But
a
it's
couple of
so
my
good.
friends to come do a race with me. And after
You're a terrorist.
I'm a terrorist. And then afterwards, and I had finished, and I said, "Oh, Matt, I don't know if I'm going to have any friends left after this."
Mhm. My My dear sweet
But they all
husband is
still
currently
liked
trying to
me.
get all of his friends to go do like a half marathon with him. And he keeps asking me, he's like, don't you want to come do it too? I'm like, absolutely, I do not. I will stand on the sidelines with the children. We'll cheer you on. It'll be great. I'll
We'll make a
watch, but you and
sign.
all your friends can go do it, and it'll
You
be
go.
super fun.
We're really happy for you.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's great.
it is good. I know for me, I have a lot of back pain and a lot of shoulder issues, and my chiropractor actually told me that I need to be working on some exercises that are specifically going to be, helping my back and my shoulders. And so I've been working on those things, and I found a lot of improvement, which is something I just didn't really connect, which obviously it makes sense. If you build the muscle,
Yeah.
then it's going to, be less likely to be injured. But
Yeah.
it was something that I hadn't considered as someone who has had chronic back pain for most of my life. So
And that's
it's
another thing people
cool.
don't consider is that your body postpartum, even from like if you choose to breastfeed, the positions you're getting into to breastfeed, although we say bring the baby to the breast and not the breast to the baby, people are constantly moving their bodies to try to figure out the easiest way for their baby to eat. And
Mhm.
it
Yes,
wrecks your back, or you're
it
holding your baby on
does.
one hip. Like getting it out and exercising is going to help so much with those little aches and pains.
Yes, I agree. And then also I do a bunch of stretches that, and like during warm up and mobility that all, open up the chest and hips and all the things that hurt postpartum. Definitely coming to the class, I'm like, I do not want anyone to be in any sort of pain. My goal is to make you not be in pain. So if it means body weight or doing something that doesn't serve you in that moment, I'm like, nope. If it hurts one time, we're done. We're moving on to the next, like we'll do something else.
Yeah.
I feel you don't want to hurt anymore. We've hurt for 10 months,
Yeah.
a year,
And I know there's nothing really one size fits all, but are there any specific exercises where you're like, I really think that everybody should try to do these prenatally, or I really think everyone should try to do these postpartum? Would there be like one maybe for each that you're like, you should do these?
Diaphragmatic breathing for sure.
Mm.
And walking, I would say would be
Embarrassing
my,
walking.
would say be my top. But there's also so many.
I know. I knew that that would be a hard question to answer, but I didn't
Yeah.
expect breathing to be one of your answers. So that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And if you have any links you want to send us for anything, we would be happy to put
Okay.
those in the show notes.
Okay.
What do you think is kind of the biggest misunderstanding out there surrounding kind of fitness in the perinatal and postpartum, well, prenatal and postpartum period?
I I feel like for me, I think if you do 5 or 10 minutes of something, it's still better than nothing. And I think that people are intimidated by like, oh, I've got to go to the gym and then I've got to do something for an extended period of time. Whereas it's like if you have 5 to 10 minutes to take for yourself, it's better than doing absolutely nothing that day. Or if you're, I also think that there's, like I said earlier, so much focus on getting your body back and your pre-baby body back. And I think
I hate that.
yes, I know, I do too.
Your body's never going to
you
be
want to
exactly
feel
the same
good.
as before you had a baby.
It is never going to be the same. But it's beautiful and strong in a new
Yeah,
way.
and that's okay. Yeah.
And that's okay. It's a different phase. You're not going to have this 22-year-old body that you had. It's different, We've grown. So, and we've had a baby. I
We've
think
grown
that
humans.
we've grown humans. So I think like that whole focus kind of needs to shift and to make more so like focusing on your mental wellness instead, and also just giving yourself grace for the days that you need it. And some days you're not going to feel great and you might just want to go for a 15-minute walk, and that's movement, just somehow finding some sort of movement in your day, I think is the most important. And then also the heart rate thing. I feel like a lot of doctors used to scare, women and about working out. Like I know my mother didn't work out during her entire pregnancy because she was scared of her heart rate going up above 140. And they've actually finally debunked that myth, which is so wonderful. But I also think the women, when we are working out, if something doesn't serve you or you feel dizzy or something hurts, like I said, you have to just listen to your body and not push through anything. It's a moment to kind of surrender because your body is
Yeah.
different,
That is such a big thing that people do before you ever have kids, or maybe when you're, healed and between kids. Find that that is the biggest thing, right? People are like pushing themselves way past comfortable and really trying to build and all of those things. But you do have to give yourself grace, especially
Mhm.
in that prenatal and postpartum period. And I love that you're not focusing on getting your body back, because I had one we had one client that had done like so much therapy before being with us. And I always say in my classes, please do not try to pretend like you shouldn't have a postpartum body when you're postpartum. And
Yeah.
she commented, she was like, no, I sure am not. She was like, I'm going to embrace being postpartum when I'm postpartum because I earned this body. And I was like, darn right you did. I wish that more of us felt that way,
I love that.
and didn't feel like, some of us feel like we owe our partners to look a certain way.
Yeah.
And we don't. We
Yeah.
just don't.
Well, and the reality is there's a physiological reason that our bodies look the way that they do. And,
Yeah.
we need extra fat stored when we're breastfeeding, and our bodies are soft and cushy so that we can hold our babies. And,
Yes.
yes, there is a little bit of a dagger to the heart when your toddler climbs up and squishes your belly and says, Mommy, it's so squishy and soft. It hurts a little bit, but there's a reason for that. They're snuggling up there, and that grew an
Yeah.
entire human being.
Yeah.
So I think just, giving yourself grace, like there's reasons that our bodies look the way that they do, and that's okay. And we need to love the body that we're in when we're in it.
Yeah. And I think too, it can take, everyone's so different. It can take people 6 months, a year, 2 years, and it doesn't matter what it is for you, as long as you're content and happy and you're still taking care of yourself and giving time for yourself for self-care. I think that's really, really important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you have any last pieces of advice for pregnant people or postpartum people who are looking at fitness?
Can
I
I
would
guess?
just say, oh yeah, go ahead.
Move.
Move, yeah.
Just move.
Even if it's 5 minutes, you could do some diaphragmatic breath on your floor in the living room in complete silence if you don't have other children or animals around.
I love the name of
Um,
your company just because it says exactly what it is that you do. And I love that. Can you tell us kind of where people can find you if they wanted to get services with you?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at MoveWithMeMama, and I have a website which is under construction, hopefully done soon. It's MoveWithMeMama.com, or you can email me at MoveWithMeMama@gmail.com.
And we will put those in the show notes too. Thank you so much for being with us today, Katie. This was great.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Good luck with the rest of your pregnancy, and I'm sure we'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
Can't wait to
Yes.
find out if it's a girl or a boy.
I know. What do we think? What do we think?
Oh,
It's
putting that in the
boy.
record.
Boy.
And
Okay.
Team boy. We'll put
Team
it in the
boy.
show notes, what she has
Yeah.
eventually.
I'm feeling boy too. I don't know why.
Okay.
We'll see.
I'll
We'll
take
see.
it. I'll
We'll
take
see.
it. It's different. It's a different pregnancy, but they're all different. So
We're putting it out into the universe for you.
yes.
So we'll
Sounds
see.
good.
All right. We'll
Thank
talk
you.
soon, Katie.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you for joining us on Birth, Baby. Thanks again to Longing for Orpheus for our music. You can look him up on Spotify. Remember to leave a review, share, and follow wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week.